I had my bend a little bit too far out this way and this one too far this way. And so what I'm having to do is I'm curling this bend tighter here both ways. I'm going to angle this one a little bit, and then this bend I have to bring more into this area and up into here. So just the way it fits in the truck, it's going to look a lot better. This distance will be better. The corner that comes over top, well, corner that comes over top of here will look a lot tighter. Because I'm going back and forth a bunch, I have cracked this, which will make a crease in here. So I got to fix that up so I can still keep working on it. So just moving the metal a bunch and went a little too harsh. So just TIG welding this up with my fave little, I have a Dynasty 200 DX, beautiful little thing. So little gooby weld, like not bad, nice little weld. Nice thing with a TIG is when you're welding, with a TIG, you got such fine control and you can actually see the end of where the crack was and go past it and fix it, and got full penetration. Opened up beside the weld about 3/16 inch away from the last crack. It's going to happen. On this, to me, it's really important that you would repair that, bring it back together, because it leaves a little kink in here if you don't. If I went and kept doing it, it's just going to relieve a bunch, and you can see a kink there. So this is the bottom of the panel. When you open the door, that's the first thing that you would see is that little kink. I might have to correct that statement a little bit. Usually the builder notices all the problems. Most people probably wouldn't notice it, but the kink is gone now. So if you see, when you shrink metal, it has a whole bunch of little teeth on the jaws, and it pulls the metal together and makes wrinkles in it. And when you stretch it, it takes and makes that whole section more thin. So what we've done is we've wrinkled it all up, and now we're stretching it out to change the bend further this way. And so that really is hard on material. If you have something that you've stretched and you want to shrink it, it's not so bad. But when you have shrunk something and you want to stretch it, it's very prone to opening up, or if you overstretch stuff, as well as the depth of this affects it. If I was to have a narrower band in here, it would probably be less susceptible to this cracking. I really would like to keep that nice wide band on the bottom, but yeah, it'll be good. So just test, I test fit it, and what I'm going to be doing is just giving this a soft roll over. Probably we'll have to fix it, but I want to fit it in there, and then we'll stretch this out to fit the way we did on those. Wasn't the plan, but I have a nice curve going from the other undercover this direction, and it just looks like this wants to curve the opposite way, and maybe I can roll a divot into that other side to make this flange, like we'll maybe round this off or something. I'm not sure exactly what, but I'm gonna make these two curves kind of join each other and make it look more natural. I think it's gonna be really nice to do that. So the more I curve this, the more it marries into that piece, and the more I can tilt this under, give a little bit more leg room. I still need room inside of here for computers and so on, but I think the look and the transition is going to be really nice with that tilted in and curved out into the curve on the other side there. Once in a while this thing gets nicked up. It was an old tool when I got it. I'm so grateful for it. But sometimes it gets nicked up. You gotta clean all the spots off, otherwise that transfers into your metal. So I really rolled this over soft, and I can manipulate squaring that up into a nice sharper corner using my scribe line that I have and the measurement that I have over here to bring the line so that we tighten the gap like we did on the other side. This has got quite a curve to it, so I'm actually going to straighten this out, and that will tilt the back better, which will make this side line up better. So I'm just going to shrink that edge, and that should straighten this out, which will give us a lean back, which will actually be really nice. putting a little curve in this. It's a very compound curve. We're gonna have to do a little bit more work to it, but it's really, really close. I'm gonna dress that edge. So this tool, really like it, love it. I am a creature of habit, and I use my table edges a whole bunch. So I have two edges that are very square and two edges that are round, so I can pick a corner to get into shapes. I should use this more. It's nicer than the table. I just always fall to the table. I'll probably make some more anvils for this, but beautiful tool. So this is one of the dash supports that secure the dash really heavy duty into the truck. So there's a structure above this, then the steering column mounts to that structure, which goes ahead, and then this is just a stabilizer in the bottom, just an extra beefy spot in there. Problem is, so this is in this position underneath the dash. This is going to interfere. So the two black marks on there, are the bolt centers. So I have to cut that back edge off so that this and this don't interfere with each other. So this is a good start. There's a chance that we might have to take more, but the more meat we have here, the more structurally sound this is. So I'm gonna risk this being enough. Hopefully it is. I'll put that mount in and we'll see how this fits after that. Gonna have to pull more out of here, definitely. It's gonna be pretty thin. Not my favorite, but it'll be good. We'll build the bottom out. So, something you run into, didn't expect. I thought I had enough clearance, not happy with it. So instead of taking this completely off and making this a warbly mess, I'm gonna tighten this edge up so it brings it ahead more. So there it is, bolted in. We're gonna have to figure something out with this. We'll take a look at that in a half sec. So originally the thought was this wasn't gonna be as straight up and down. It was gonna be tapered more. Didn't work out that way. And if you remember, I made this taper down so it could lean back. So it is leaned back. And if this didn't have as much of a return, my expectation was that it would turn out, but I had to move all this in to make it look correct, is that this would have a softer return, which would have made this have an upslope. But because this has a forward return, this should, I thought, maybe have an upslope, but because this has a forward return on it, it actually goes down, which not really too concerned about. I think that it looks pretty cool. It's supposed to look big truckish, and I don't know, it's starting to look that way to me. Back in 54, this was a big truck. If we look at this side, we have to make this very nice. So this I'm going to be pulling in, and I think what would look nice on this side is if I actually took and rolled this edge in, similar to this edge here, so that when we put mating pieces in, they have a spot to fit, and it looks like it actually had a purpose or an intent to it. So yeah, we'll pull this out, draw it up, see what it looks like.